Living and Loving Each Day. My name is Sue Jansen, and I'm so pleased, excited to have our U.S. guest with us today. Up until now, we've had all Canadian guests, and Steve, you're my first, so I'm really, really pleased about this. But let me give you a little intro, just so you know who we're talking about, because he's a great guy, and I want you to know all about him before I give the floor to him. So we want to welcome Stephen. He's also known as America's Ambassador on Success, and with an impressive array of compliments and a diverse background. Steve is a true force to be reckoned with. And as a former U.S. Marine and law enforcement officer, he has honed his skills in discipline and in leadership. As a singer-songwriter, and that's kind of what touched my heart because that's kind of exactly where I fit, he has found a creative outlet for his passion. And furthermore, Steve's expertise as the board-certified civil trial lawyer to add to his long list of already established things, and he's an internet entrepreneur, just adds another layer of depth to this persona. So Steve's mission revolves around empowering individuals in the public eye, executives, business leaders, and he's helping them overcome challenges related to self-identity, communication, relationships, and drawing upon his wealth of real-world experience, he inspires and guides his clients and audiences to reach their full potential. So his unique blend of skills and expertise and experience allows him to transform lives. And that's why we're here and so excited to have him with us today. So just one more thing I have to add, and it's in addition to his speaking engagements, Steve is also a co-founder and president of the Voices of Impact Awards. And it's prestigious and it celebrates songs and stories that inspire and uplift humanity. That is where we're going to kind of tie all this together today. First of all, welcome, Steve. Just kind of tell us how you got even to, maybe you start where you need to start. We've only got 18 minutes, but then I also want to finish up, especially with your awards. So tell us, and welcome, first of all, to you. So glad that you're here with us today.
Susan, thank you so much for having me as a guest and for producing this show because I know that it's not easy. It's very time consuming and challenging at times with the technology as good as it is. It can be frustrating. And then wrangling your guests, right? I can imagine that from time to time. It's like trying to herd cats. So thank you for producing the show and delivering this information to the world. I love the introduction that you gave me. I mean, it's spot on, but I do want your audience to know that it hasn't all been a bed of roses for me. I did start my life wanting to commit suicide several times before the age of 17 because I believed the programming that I was fed that I was good for nothing. In fact, I was absolutely good for nothing. And so at 17, I decided to take my own life, but not in a suicidal way. I ran away to join the U.S. Marine Corps. And it was during that Marine Corps training that I found that I did have something of value and worth to give to the world, and that has inspired me and helped shape my life with a premise that I can achieve my dreams, helping others achieve theirs, and so that's really all I've done since uh, 17 years of age. But I've had some massive failures too. I've had financial bankruptcy. I've been divorced. I've been kicked out of jobs, and those kinds of things. Nothing too severe, but challenging nonetheless, as most of your audience has probably experienced at one time or another. And if they haven't, ladies and gentlemen, you will. Something you will hit you with, and so it's good that you have Susan's show here to lean on and to resort to when things aren't going that good in the world, and you can listen to other guests that give you their insights and their information on how you can live and love each day.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. And so tell us, first of all, what you're doing now, like, because I know that you have a lot of things. I looked up your website and I checked out all the things you do. There's so many things, like what's going on for you right now that's exciting. And then I also want to talk about your awards too.
Thank you, Susan. It's all exciting every time I get to wake up and look at a brand new day, whether it's rainy or sunny outside. It's exciting because it means that I get a chance to do something over again, perhaps that I didn't do so well the day before. And we can do this. We can look at our lives that way every moment of the day. If you go off on somebody and that's not your nature, you didn't mean to. You know what? The next minute is new. You don't have to stay in that past and live it in those mistakes. And it's recognizing that we're all on a journey, and there's no perfect path to get to where we're going to, and it's all a learning lesson. I mean, you can imagine if we lived on a beautiful Caribbean island every single day, and every day was sunshine and blue skies and calm water. How boring would that get after a while, right? We
Yeah.
love the storms, we love the challenges, we love the lightning, we love the thunder, we love the stormy seas every once in a while, because that's where we get to shine and say, hey, look what I can do. I can save lives, I can shape lives, I can help my kids, I can help my spouse, I can do those kinds of things. And so that's why the challenges appear in our lives. And so what I get to do every day is to inspire and uplift other people, either through my writing, and primarily, Susan, I get to do it through my communications training, teaching others how communications, the word they speak, not only affects their personal and mental health, right? But it also affects everything they do in the marketplace in terms of business, jobs, or career. How you speak, I believe, are the is what I call the great equalizer, because you don't have to, it doesn't matter what side of the tracks you come from, Susan. It doesn't matter whether you have money or a famous name, or if you have a good education or not. But if you know how to speak and you know how to formulate your thoughts and get those across to whoever your audience is,
Mm.
you will win over people that have much more money, that have much more prestigious academic degrees and those kinds of things. So that's what I get to do, and that's why we it all evolved into the Voices of Impact Awards.
Yeah. And that's why we're starting, like our topic today is called You Are Not Your Story. And I think, whoops, I think we're out of sync here.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything right now.
Oh, there we go. There, you know what? I saw your mouth going, and you know what? Steve is coming calling in from Denver, and I don't know if that's if there's if
Yeah,
that's the issue here. But I want to hear what you have to say for sure. I don't want to miss that. But I was just making a comment about our title today is called "This You Are Not Your Story," and I think that's the premise that you are trying to say. We can overcome these things, and on our journey, and a journey is not always fearful and negative. It's a very positive thing. So can you just share a
exactly.
little bit more about that, about your story, that you are not your story?
Yes, absolutely, Susan. And there is a delay. I noticed that as you were talking, my mouth was still moving, but I wasn't saying anything. So there is a delay in the video transmission. And so we'll see if we can deal with that appropriately here. Um, but yes, the idea of you are not your story came to me as a teaching point, where people would always ask me, Steve, how is it that you've done this and this and that or the other, and you've done so many things? And it's because I've made a conscious choice to change from one career to another when the career I was in was no longer serving me. In other words, Susan, when I was no longer having fun, that's when I said, that's it, I'm done. I can change careers. And recognizing that we all have a story, we all have a past, we all have challenges, we all have, like I said earlier, a journey that we're on. We can either be the victim or we can be the victor. And
Exactly.
many people believe that they are the victim, much like I believed I was good for nothing, until I realized that I have the power to change that story. And so while things happen to us, and we are part of the story, right? Because we play a part in it. We're either the victim or sometimes we're the aggressor, right? Sometimes we're the bad person, and sometimes things just happen because they happen, but we don't have to stay there. And so what I teach people in my talks is, you can be the writer, the director, and the producer of your story. What does the writer do? If you watch any of your favorite movies, Susan, you can hear the producer yell cut when the scene isn't going right, or when the actors aren't doing what they believe they should be doing, and he'll call over the writer and say, rewrite these lines so that so and so can say them better, right? So that's what the writer does. And then the director goes on and he films, continues the filming as he desires. And
Mhm.
then the producer is the person that puts everybody together. The producer is the one that raises the money. He's the one that hires the director, or she hires the actors and the catering company and the wardrobe company. They put all the pieces together. And so when we realize that we have that ability to do that in our own lives, rewrite the story. If things are not going the way we want them to, we can say cut, and then we can rewrite. We can say, no, I want my job to look like this. I want my house to look like this. I want my neighborhood to look like this. I want my physical appearance to look like that, right? And so we rewrite that. And then we produce it by getting the people that we believe will support us in our new journey, right? And this means we may have to let go of some relationships, existing relationships that
Mhm.
aren't serving us, right? And that's the hard part. Well, people think, what's going to happen? But, you know, we have to do that. And did you want to make a comment on that there?
Oh, I was just saying, just to let go and to just honor where you're at, and I know making those choices is just so important.
Yes, it is. And as you can see in the video, I'm still talking, but that was 5 minutes ago. I've moved on now, so I don't know what this is going to look like at the finished
I'm so
finished product.
sorry. Yeah, and this is a new for me. This is the first time this has happened. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a Restream. I don't know why it does that. So anyway, so then as the producer, we get to gather all the people and say, you're going to play a part, you're going to play a part, you're going to play a part, and then we become the director because we get to supervise, make
Hmm.
sure everybody's playing their part. And when someone's not playing their part, we can say cut, and we can have a conversation with that person. Mom, dad, children, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, boss, coworker, whoever it is, city council member, president, premier, prime minister, right? We can have those conversations with those people and say, you know what, this isn't what I envisioned, this isn't what I desire for my life, and continue moving forward, knowing that we are not the story.
Hmm. Okay, I'm not sure about the timing here right now. So
Yeah. You'll get to look at this, Susan. If it's not to your liking, we can reschedule and reshoot this.
right,
Although I understand we may be live right now in some
yes,
platforms, but oh well.
especially singer and songwriters, we know how that goes
Exactly.
when you're on
Exactly.
stage and things just happen.
Yeah.
Do you think a lot of us are led by our fear in our story? Like our story is one of fear, and that's how we make our decisions and our choices. Do you think
And
that?
that's a beautiful point, Susan, and you're absolutely correct. But what I think that more than fear is people actually fall in love with their stories.
Mhm.
And you've seen this in your own practice where you suggest to someone, him or her, well, perhaps you should do this, and perhaps maybe this will make a difference, and maybe that'll make a difference. Oh, yeah. And then you see them a year later and they're still in the same story. Why? Because every time they share that story, they get recognition, they get acceptance, they get applause, they get admiration, they get a hug from someone. And so to let go of the story means, oh my gosh, I'm losing my identity. People are no longer going to love me and hug me because of what I went through, right? They're not going to feel sorry for me anymore. And so I think even more than fear um, of changing the story, it's that they fall in love with the story too much, such that they don't want to change it because it's become such a big part of their lives, an important part of their lives.
Mhm. Okay, I'm hearing now. Now, yeah, now I'm seeing your lips are moving, but I can't. I'm not hearing you. This is so. This is not. I'm so sorry about this. I've never. This hasn't happened on Restream for me before.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
I
can't
don't
tell
know.
you. I'm not even telling if you're behind me or in front of me. Like that's the thing. Maybe it's
I'm
Denver.
be
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm definitely lagging behind you there.
Yeah, yeah. But I did hear what you said, and that did come across. We'll take a look at this when we're over it, when we're done, and see.
I'm sure the audio track will be beautiful.
You will see. Yeah, the audio. Yes, shut your eyes, and we'll just listen to this. So before we go, then, can you just share a little bit about your rewards? Because I know you speak all over about this amazing, just to be helping people find who they truly are and not living in their stories. But can you tell us a little bit more about the awards?
Yes, Susan, and thank you for asking because that's our beautiful project that we're working on right now, and we're all in on that project. And over the years that I've had a chance to share my story from stages and radio shows and podcasts, people will always tell me afterwards, Steve, thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm so inspired. I'm so moved. I'm going to do this, that, or the other, as you suggest. And I always tell these people, you know what? You have a amazing story as well, right? I couldn't get the word I was looking for. You have an amazing story as well. You should share it. And then, Susan, over time, it dawned on me that there's no real safe and legitimate place for others to share their story. And so we created it because we honor actors who portray the people that are on the front lines of life,
Mhm.
right? And we honor them with awards.
Yeah.
Why don't we honor the people that are actually on the front lines of life?
Right.
Right? And so that didn't exist. And so we created it. And so this is an opportunity for that stay at home mom, that executive, that first responder, or that healthcare nurse, or the doctor, or the surgeon, or even that college kid that have been through some challenges and have lessons that they've learned that they can impart to others so we can create a better world. Because it's the stories that connect us, Susan. It's listening to what you've gone through, your transition from a musician to now a coach and delivering this beautiful podcast and all the things you've done in between as a as a woman and as an entrepreneur, right? Now I can look at that story and go, wow, Susan, you've done some amazing things, right? And I can honor and respect and admire you for that instead of looking at you and say, oh, Susan lives in a 5,000 square foot home and mine's only 3,500 square feet. I don't feel good about myself now,
Mhm.
right? In comparison to you, because that's what society wants us to do is compare, each other and compete rather than collaborate, right? And so that's what the Voices of Impact Awards is. And so if you have an original song or personal story that you believe can uplift humanity, we'd love to have you as part of the show. And you could possibly win the grand prize of $20,000 US cash or a book award from Morgan James Publishing,
Wow.
a book contract. What I meant by
Oh,
book award. Yeah, we turned that contract into an award. So we call it the Morgan James Book Award, but it's a publishing contract.
wow. That's exciting for anybody who's in. Oh, yeah. Now I'm sorry. That's exciting for anyone who wants to take advantage of the. This is very intriguing, and especially for me. I'm always so curious. Well, I can't hear your voice right now.
Yeah.
There we go. I heard your voice there. So tell us. I do have your website in your description on our podcast, but just let people know how they can get in touch with you and find out about you to apply for the reward or award, not reward, but award.
Awards. I love
Award.
that. That's my favorite question of the show. To get a hold of me, what I recommend, ladies and gentlemen, is that you contact Susan. And first of all, and you say, thank you for producing this show and thank you for introducing us to Steve and all the other amazing guests that you bring to us week in and week out. And so show your gratitude for that. And Susan will know how to get a hold of me. And now, Susan, because you're going to be so busy fielding messages from all the people calling to thank you and congratulate you, anybody that needs to reach me directly can do so on social media by searching out Stevie G Success. All my profiles on Facebook and Instagram are under that, or they can go to voiawards.com. That's V as in Victor, oiawards.com to look at and participate in the awards program. And by the way, every visitor to the website, if you just pop in your email, you get a free book that I've written called How to Share Your Story. And you can
Oh,
use it in your business, in your career, and even on dates, because it's difficult for us to know what to say about ourselves, right? Most of us have a difficult time talking about ourselves so it doesn't sound arrogant or braggadocious or anything like that. So this book will teach you that, and it's a free book just by coming and saying hello to us.
perfect. Thank you so much. This has been so great. We're going to figure out well this techie stuff later. But in the meantime, I want to thank Stephen, especially for coming through all the way from Denver to speak with us today. And his information about his podcast will be right below us. And please, thank you very much for joining us today, Steve. Thank you so much for being with us. And we'll figure all this out. And we might have to redo this, but we will figure it out. But again, everyone, thanks for joining us. livingandlovingeachday.com. Check it out and subscribe. Oh, now it's speeding up. That's my part of the film. But so I'll say goodbye.
Yeah.
We'll say goodbye for now, and thank you. We'll check this out before I post it. Oh, we are live, but we will fix it if we have to. Stephen, thank you. You're wonderful. You're just, you bring a lot of joy and light to us, and I really appreciate that very much today. So
Thank,
thank you for joining us.
thank you, Susan. Love to all in Canada.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, bye.